you're doing well. Welcome to My Friends Love podcast, and I am your host, Virginia Njuguna. Yes, karibuni sana to yet another episode. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're keeping safe in this season that we are in. And yeah, tunawapenda. On this episode, this is a topic that I love talking about because it is something I have experienced, and it is to encourage someone who has been hurt by the people in church, and they've already washatoka church. Nukasema mimi na church never. Or someone, yes, umehatiwa na church and you're in the plans of acha mimi niachane na church niende hukunje ndio kuna wasee wazuri and they will embrace me well. I would love to speak from a place of I know, I understand what you're saying. I understand the pain that you're going through because I have been there. In the last 7 months for me, I have been on break from church because of circumstances. And when I say this, I don't mean it to attack anyone or to attack any person or any church in particular, but it's because of the experience that people go through in church. People are hurt and they go outside there with hearts that are bleeding, and then the world embraces these people. Na unapotea hivyo. I'm here to tell you that God loves you. I'm here to tell you that God is calling you back to the church because you have an assignment in church. And also one thing I remember when I was hurt by the church at first, someone sat me down and told me it's because I have shifted my focus from God and now I'm focusing on people. Now that thing really made me diminish myself, and I'm like, God, why am I focusing on people? But because of the friendship that I have with God, the relationship I'm having with Him, He has told me that, Manze, it's not that my focus will shift. And for you, it's not that your shift has focused from God to people. Remember, a church is a community of believers, and every individual watu wameingia church with different reasons, with different intentions. And there are those who, amekuja kuumiza watu, hiyo ndio purpose yake. And trust me, there are those kind of people. There's someone who mwenye God amemrudisha church could deal na yeye, to work on their character. And they're like, manze, God, mimi nimekuja as I am bad, I am rude, I am wicked, but I'm coming as I am. Please just deal with me and help me overcome all these things. And maybe along the way, wewe ndo ulipatana na huyu msee mwenye aliambia God, deal with me in this situation, And at the same time, there are people who are genuinely in church. They're genuinely there to serve. They're genuinely there to do the work of Christ, like what has brought them to church. And maybe that is you. That is why you've gotten hurt. And yes, I'm here to remind you that, yes, people hurt you, but remember, it's only God who called you. It's not them. Every single one of us is running a race. And in this race, kila mtu ako na assignment yake. So I'm here to tell you that, don't go, usitoke nje, usienda nje, come back to church. And be the person who is bringing the difference. Be the person who is helping people who have already gotten lost and they want to get out of church. One thing that God has brought me back, amenafanya nione mse amehatiwa na anataka kutoka. One thing God is leading me to them and telling them, you know what, no. So that niongee na wao niwaambie, I've been there. I know I have been crushed. But God is calling you for a purpose. God is bringing you out of that place for a purpose, for you to be a different person, not to be a person who is hurting others while in church. So I love writing things down, so msijali mbona naangalia chini. But that is one thing that has really affected people. One day we're going to bring people who have been affected by that and to tell you, what? Maybe ulitoka church kitambo sana because of what? The drama, the politics that you saw in church. But God is calling you back for you to make a difference in the purpose that God has called you to do in, when you get out of there, unabaki na anga ingine yenye, And that is where the devil thrives, because he's happy when you're controlled with anger. He's happy when you're controlled with hatred towards a servant of God or a leader in church. That is where the devil thrives, and he knows how to enter heaven because of all those things. So one thing, and also there's this notion inakuanga mimi nimeacha church lakini sijaacha God. I have been there, guys. I have been there, and I know that ukiacha church, there's a covering that comes with church. To be honest, there's a covering, and I've realized it. I've realized it in the time that I have been out. There's a covering that comes with church that ukiwa ukunje you don't have. So I'm encouraging you. However that person hurt you or whatever they did. Do you know sometimes people don't even know you hurt them. They hurt you. Ule mse mwenye umekasirikia, mwenye umetoka nje because of Kenya likudu, unaweza kutata hakumbuki at this point. Hii tulitoka church kitambo sana. Or maybe alienda transfer, akaenda place ingine. Yet, God has, I'm just here to tell you that God really loves you and he wants you to come back to church. He wants you to come back and do the assignment that you amekupangia in church. Okay? So, and this I am putting on a disclaimer because there are people who have been sexually harassed in church. There are people who have been mentally, emotionally, and physically harassed in church. I don't want to tell you to go back to that same church. No. One thing I'm really telling you, ikifika ni hizi vitu that are very hurt and that are hurting you so bad and maybe it is too toxic for you, please take a break. And even in that, taking that break, itakusaidia to just get to go back to your feet again. And in that break, don't just go away ukiendanga. Remember, umeenda far from church, but God is still with you. Seek God's guidance, manze. One thing I love about God, si kama enzi za kitambo where people could go to the priest and tell priest, manze, priest, niombe, these are my prayer requests. Right now we have access. We have a relationship is growing, and that is what I would love to tell you. Wherever you are, whatever you do, just have this relationship na God. Na atakusaidia. Yes, he saw you go through the torture, he saw you go through the toxicity, but he was with you even in that time. He was with you so that at the end of it you'll realize, and God alinipitishia hii ndio nisaidie mtu mwingine. I hold someone else's hand. So yes, one thing I'm saying is that take time to really pray and seek God's direction. At the same time, maybe before hata utoke, you can confront the person who hurt you in church. Mwambie, by the way, in a very kind way. For me at first, I remember I did it in a very rude way because this person was so rude. So ikakuwa ni two proud people attacking each other. And it was so chaotic for me. And then the second, so for me I've been hurt like three or four times in different places for real. And the third one niliona manze hapa mimi acha tu niende nikiendanga. And when you confront the person with so much anger and pride, he sees it. And then mnatakiana nyinyi wote because the two of you, God is dealing with the two of you. So inabidi humble. For real, you'll have just to humble with a calm mind and a calm soul, ndio ukalishe umse chini umwambie manze ulinikosea hivi na hivi. Akikataa, achana na yeye, you did your part. But akikubali, that's a good thing because you'll come together and the ministry will grow, serving God will grow. Sawa. So I would love to tell you, please, yes, come back to church. I'll still insist in that. Go back to church. Go sit down with the people who offended you. And if they are okay, tusonge nayo. If they are not okay, then, hey, that one you take a break. And if they are not okay, involve someone else. Involve a third party. Someone who can listen to you and listen to them, to their scenarios, and see how we can wanaweza come up with a consensus. Inasangu hivyo watu wa kidogo. Yes. So venye tu, if the third person is involved and the guy or the lady is not okay ama hakubali maybe makosa yake, then it's time for you to maybe walk. Still know that God is with you. He's going to direct you to an assembly where people are reading the word. Hey, and another thing I have struggled with and I have come to learn, and yet God has slowly taught me in the 7 months I've been away, is that I really need to read the Bible myself. Si ati nilikuwa nategemea niende church Sunday ndio nisikize someone then I'm okay the entire week then again. No, remember the purpose of this entire podcast is for us to know our day-to-day walk with Christ. Okay, so read the Bible yourself. Usiende church ingine yenye pitia character development ingine, because that's a character development, my friend. And it's painful. Usinione hapa nikicheka. It is painful, but I know, I understand what you're feeling. Maybe you've gone through worse than me. Maybe you've been hurt worse than I have been hurt. But let me tell you one thing I have learned is that in church it's like a hospital where watu wako na magonjwa zote wanakuja church. Even pastors themselves, they are even human beings dealing with things themselves. So don't be too hard on yourself when it comes to that, and please allow God to really work on you. Don't usijiekee kila kitu and that you're not allowing God to do everything. Okay? And one last thing I would love to encourage you: you've been hurt by the church or the people in church, please do not go and gossip about it. I was almost a victim of that. Yes, but I have come to learn, you know what? There are people, they are children of God also. God has many children and he loves us all, and every one of us has each other's weaknesses. Hata mimi niko na weaknesses zangu, na mtu akiamua kwenda kuzianika huko nje itaniuma, the same as if you go kuanika weaknesses za mtu mwingine huko nje. So this is a topic, this is a very serious and delicate discussion that we need to have in church, because many people are going out, many people are running into the world thinking ukondio everything is, yet the devil is very happy embracing such, and that is his purpose, to kill, steal and to destroy. And we are not for that. We are children of God, we are friends of God, and we need to be the people who are helping others to overcome, and to be people who just believe in God and know that yes, we are weak vessels, but God is working on us. Okay? And for you leaders, please be gentle. Please be the leaders in church, in ministries, different ministries. Please be gentle and allow God to even lead you. When you find there's a young person akona tantrums, anakuja tu unashangaa rada yake ni gani, and you also find your way to attack them again, that is not fair, because you don't know what this young person is going through. May the Lord guide you to just discern. May the Lord take you back to his presence so that you may seek him and know manzi yenyewe. I need not to handle things as with my physique, but I need to seek you. So thank you for your time, for your time to talk about this, and I hope we'll talk about it more with people who have gone through also other scenarios like those, but maybe now different ones. And together we grow, together we bring people back to church and tell them that God loves them and they have a purpose in church. And that's the goal for every one of us. So tunawapenda. You can follow us on our social media platforms at My Friends Love Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Yes, on TikTok and Facebook. So yes, see you on our next episode.